Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix, and this is Cyclonus. And so is this. Now, what we've got here is Transformers Generation Select Cyclonus and Nightstick. This was purchased over at the Hasbro Pulse, and I say Transformers Generation Selects. That's sort of what it is, but it's also under the Transformers Legacy line. It's effectively a repaint of this figure with a Target Master. Let's open him up and take a look. And here's everything out of the box. We have Cyclonus, his oxidating laser, 2 blast effects, and Nightstick, who is a redeco of Siege's blowpipe. Something that I find very interesting is the fact that the guns are actually cast in the same colored plastic that the figures are cast in and then are painted. So the original Kingdom release is here, cast in that very light lilac purple or lavender purple, and then painted silver. And then the new figure is cast in the darker purple and then painted this charcoal gray or gunmetal. Painted these things really well because I could not tell until I looked at the handles. It's just wow. That is a lot of paint on guns. And speaking of a lot of paint, we have the figures here together. And now you may be wondering, why the difference? Well, this one on the left is the animation model. This is based off of the way Cyclonus appeared in the movie and in the show. This on the right has the color scheme of the original Generation 1 figure. This original Cyclonus was much darker and much more gray, and he was changed for some reason. Now, this is very common in toys, especially back then. They had the original idea for the figures, they mocked up the toys, they got the production lines all ready to go, and then they realized, oh, we need to change things, and it's much easier to change animation than it is, factories for producing physical goods. The figure also comes with a bunch of stickers that I am not going to be putting on my figure. I don't hate these by any means, but they don't feel very good, and the paper is already kind of warping in the summer heat, so I'll probably just wait for some repro labels and get those instead. Nightstick is a cute little robot. I like these little things, but I mean, we've had these molds for 3, maybe 4 years at this point, and I think we can maybe do better. I don't know, but the transformation is very easy. Flip the gun up from the back, put the legs together, unpeg the hip, flip the whole thing over, peg the heels in, and then peg the wrists into the hips, and we're done. We got Nightstick. Little shooty bang bang guy. And we can add his blast effects, which don't work so well together if you shoot, I keep screwing this up. You know what, we'll just dang it. So fun fact, the shorter barrel doesn't work well with either of the blast effects. Well, that's why the figure comes with 2 guns, right? Posability for Cyclonus is quite good. Head is on a hinge for forward and back movement, and then a swivel for side to side. Shoulders are on hinges for in and out, swivels for 360-degree motion. There's a swivel just above the elbow. Elbows bend at 90 degrees. Fists do articulate, but the swivel in the fists are so tight that when I go to move it, the arms start moving. And I'm a little bit weirded out by the arms because the shoulders, they're way looser on this figure than on my original. Yeah, there's a lot more friction on the original figure than there is on this new one. I wonder if something just hasn't been tightened correctly. The figure can do a split, and the feet do have a ton of movement side to side, but there is just the little boot areas around the feet that get in the way. There is forward and back movement on the toes. Bend at the knee is over 90 degrees. Thigh swivel, and then hinges for forward and back, and splitsville. Oh, and I forgot to mention, torso rotation. Though the torso on mine is looser than I would like. Oh, maybe that's why. It looks like it's split apart a little bit. Maybe I need to pull this apart and see if anything's broken inside.
Cyclonus' transformation is exactly the same as his Kingdom figure, and I love it. The elegance of this transformation is really good. However, this new figure feels a little bit weird. All of the joints and all of the pins feel much looser than that original figure. It's not bad, and I don't think it's anything that I can't fix, but in this case, it feels a little off. The only oddity I can really say is that, well, those wings have a tendency to pop off, the little ones that fold up. Also, this figure, the plastic doesn't feel the same. I know that's not a huge deal for a lot, but it doesn't.
And to me, this is the way Cyclonus' alt mode was always supposed to look. Don't get me wrong, I love this figure, this Kingdom figure, the paint scheme, all of it. But for me, this is the way Cyclonus' alt mode was in the movie. This is how he was introduced for me as a kid. And this darker color scheme is always how I envisioned Cyclonus. Fun fact, to this date, I have never handled the original Generation 1 Cyclonus toy. I've only seen it once or twice at TFCon. Never touched it in person. Now, the Nightstick figure can peg in right up top, and then you could take the other oxidized blaster and you can plug it in underneath either of the wings, like so. I would love for there to be another weapon, maybe another oxidized blaster, so you could plug it in for under the other wing for some symmetry. Or you can peg the gun into the back thruster here, like that. Or maybe you could peg it into the thruster, like that, for some vertical action. Or maybe nowhere else. So the thing that I've always found funny about the movie is you've got Cyclonus and his armada. You see two Cyclonuses transform on screen, but you never see the second one ever again. You only see the first one. And I always imagined that one of these Cyclonus, the one with the darker color scheme, was Armada, and the other one was actually Cyclonus. Now, there is a theory that the character name that is the other Cyclonus was Hurricanus, or Huracan. I don't know. That's never been official. I would love to know if it was. Let me know what your theories are down in the comments, because there's a lot of... Let's just say that original movie had a lot of things and issues with it, we'll say. Overall, I'm very happy with this figure. I'm really looking forward to some repro label sets to actually give it some good stickers as opposed to what the figure came with. And I would love if third parties would make a different type of Target Master for this figure. I'm not a fan of the Siege Target Masters. We've had them for so many years at this point, and they've been reused so many times that they've lost their luster, and I would like to see something a little bit different. The only major issue I have with the figure are some of QC-wise. The hips are a little bit too loose, and the shoulders are a little bit too loose. Otherwise, the figure's fine. It's good. It's painted exactly the way I've always wanted Cyclonus to be painted. And overall, it's a great mold. I mean, this original figure was one of my favorite figures for the year it came out. This guy is still good, even with the minor QC issues. So folks, let me know what you think of this Cyclonus down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up, I've got some Studio Series figures that have got to get reviewed, so please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you're notified when these videos are out. So a word of warning, if you try to turn on notification and it says my channel is set to made for kids, here's what you have to do. 1. Unsubscribe from my channel. 2. Log out of YouTube. 3. Log back into YouTube. 4. Resubscribe to my channel. And 5. Hit the bell. That is guaranteed to work. For a while, my channel was set to 4 kids because I got some bad legal advice, and yeah, I've turned that off since then. But everybody who is subscribed isn't getting notified now, which is weird, and that's how you fix it. So if you could do that for me, that would be a big help, because that will help my channel grow. Views and subscriber counts are down, and I think that's the primary reason why. As always, folks, I have been Baltmatrix. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.